The news and the media right now, there's a lot of negativity. And frankly, if I were to be sitting down watching the news every day, I probably wouldn't be as positive and as energetic as I am. But we've been able to see kind of a totally different side of this virus.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We are so excited to be talking to Ben Vandenwein-Mellenberg. Ben is a pretty big deal here in Minnesota. We're very proud of him and what he has built through Woodchuck USA. So it's a customized wood products company. And he has pivoted his manufacturing facilities and is now making shields, actually. And so we would love to hear from you on how you not only pivoted your manufacturing, but expanded your fulfillment of these and the production of them.
Typically, we make custom wood products, wood journals, we make wood phone cases. And I built up that business over the past 8 years. We have about 40 employees, and we're really proud of what we do. We also plant a tree for every product that we sell. And we've planted over 2 million trees on 6 different continents. Our mission is putting nature back into people's lives, bringing jobs back to the US. Recently, as many businesses have experienced, a big portion of our sales channel kind of fell off. Events was a lot of what we did. Well, no one's having events because no one can meet with each other. So our business took a pretty big hit. That a buddy called me and said, hey, I have a potential order for 10,000 units for Alina. Do you think you could make these face shields? And within 48 hours, we had over 1.6 million units in orders. Right now, we have over 450 people assembling these face shields 24/7 since we launched that 2 weeks ago. So you could say we've transformed a little bit. Here, let me grab one just to show you guys.
Yeah, I want to see one.
Basically, just a piece of foam. It's an elastic strap. It's a piece of PETG. This one still has a protective layer on it, but that people are wearing essentially over their faces that protects their face and the N95 mask. Right now, we're making about 160,000 units per day. And by Tuesday of this next week, we hope to triple that number. And our goal is to make as many of these as possible to get them into the hands of the medical professionals on the front line.
It's unreal. The volume is insane.
I don't know if you would have ever thought to yourself, I'm going to start this kind of a volume business. You're already running a great manufacturing business, but like it's almost like you were forced into this and just proved to yourself and your team that you guys were capable of it.
Yeah, the news and the media right now, there's a lot of negativity. And frankly, if I were to be sitting down watching the news every day, I probably wouldn't be as positive and as energetic as I am. But what we've been able to see, kind of a totally different side of this virus, is we've seen the incredible American manufacturers stepping up. We've seen incredible people stepping up in a time of uncertainty, in a time of fear, in a time of chaos, and kind of them stepping up saying, you know what, screw this. I want to help out. I want to do something. It's honestly really been incredible and kind of surreal too at the same time.
Right. There's a big component of all this that's a mental health component too. How do you keep your spirits up? How do you keep your morale up when life is so different and so compromised so suddenly?
There's a lot of people sitting at home feeling helpless, and I 100% agree with you. That's where a lot of negativity starts to come in.
Which, by the way, we're skipping over the fact that you just provided employment for hundreds of people in a time when employment is really needed for so many. So thank you for that. And you just scaled up in a huge way. You just added 10 times the number of employees.
Yeah, so you've been able to grow this in a way that feels financially healthy for your company?
Yeah, a big part of that on the front end was, and we had a lot of experience with this from a terms perspective, we were used to getting half down, half delivery for most of our projects. A lot of companies don't have that luxury. They're, net 30, net 45. And frankly, with literally some of these vendors that we're having to buy raw material from, like we have to bring them cash. Like literal cash, like Narcos style.
Like duffel bag on the sidewalk? Okay.
Yeah, because a lot of these resources are so scarce and a lot of people are trying to do the same thing. We were told yesterday that we were one of the largest face shield manufacturers in the United States right now. And I was like, that's pretty cool. We started 2 weeks ago.
I love too is we've been talking to some entrepreneurs who are creating things and they're just kind of giving it away. But we've actually been encouraging entrepreneurs not to they don't have to be giving things away right now either. And what I really love about what you've set up here is that there is a need, there is a budget for it out there, and you are fulfilling it. It can be a win-win, that small businesses don't have to be giving away services right now.
You've scaled so quickly to meet this demand, including moving into a new space. How have you tried to balance meeting this demand that is so acute and knowing that the product you're creating is going out there to save lives with protecting the people who are working for you, both those who have been working for you for a long time and this huge rush of new staff?
Yeah, that's a great question. So that was one of the key reasons for moving into the new space. Frankly, we could have done it and, saved more money if we would have stayed in the space, but it wasn't necessarily safe. Again, I mean, like, that's what it comes back to. Like, these people are all stepping up too. That's just as an amazing of a feat as like a company being able to do this. Okay, cool. Like, a company can do that. That takes hundreds of individuals stepping up in a time of uncertainty to help save people's lives. And I think that's awesome.
It's helpful that you got plenty of face shields around.
Yeah, we got enough. We got a couple extra face shields.
Ben, you've done a good job before this and have continued to do a good job now of telling the story of what you do to facilitate doing what you do even more effectively. What is the strategy for telling that story without coming across as self-congratulatory?
Most people, I feel like, have a pretty good litmus test, right? Or gut check. And to be honest with you, I think if I was doing it for the wrong reasons, it would come across that way. If we would have focused on profit, our business would have looked a lot different than it does. We're doing it for the right reasons. We're trying to get these in the hands of the medical providers that desperately need them. And, I think it's just comes back to a core gut check. If you're doing it for the right reasons, I think it's going to work out.
Well, and I think too, as when brands are trying to figure out how to talk about their mission, how to talk about the goodness that they are doing in the world, there is that fine line of feeling like, am I being humble about it? But I still think I should talk about it. It's core to who our brand is and our brand values. And I think that there's almost a responsibility when you're doing goodness to talk about it in order to be an example to other companies. But we're seeing that the businesses that are really able to pivot and respond are the ones that kind of already had this social good baked in. There was no decision to be made. It was like, if we can help, we are going to help. The impact you were making as a small business, you were having a huge impact.
Talk about, like, what is it that drives you as an entrepreneur? Because it's not just one specific model.
I love making stuff. And through building this business, I really got fascinated with deals and, making deals happen and the sales side of things, but also the service providing side of things. And my true, like, underlying piece of that is like the building of brands and the building of a brand that will last long after I'm dead.
What is your plan, once we do get to the other side of the crisis? Do you feel like you'll stay in some sort of manufacturing space beyond the customized wood products that would utilize the space and the employees?
Personally, I have really enjoyed the little bit of the medical sector that we've been in for the past 2 weeks. Building something around, core values to truly have an impact in someone's life, I think is really cool. We're able to help literally save lives. I mean, we're getting text messages, emails, videos of people crying, saying like, thank you. I was wearing a plastic bag over my face before this, or whatever it was. We don't know exactly what that looks like yet. We really just want to stay focused on providing as many of these face shields to people as we possibly can right now. But I know in the upcoming weeks, as hopefully things die down a little bit, we're able to kind of look at what that might look like.
One of the ideas behind this series is that by shining a light on what you guys are doing, we can kind of bring the Small Business Revolution community into supporting. Where will that money go as people show up to help?
Yeah, so there's a handful of organizations, nonprofits that have reached out that are in need of these shields that can't necessarily afford all of them or them at all, frankly. And I think helping out some of those nonprofits and organizations that need, protective equipment, whether it's shields or whatever it is, if we were able to step in and help those people out a little bit more, that'd be fantastic. That's where the contributions can go.
Well, Ben, we were so impressed by what you were doing. You're a great representation of what entrepreneurs do in times of disaster, and the fact that you're providing employment. And so thank you for your generosity of spirit and skill set, and for bringing that entrepreneurial spirit to a solution.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
We love your hustle, man. Yeah.
See you guys.
If you want to help Woodchuck USA donate masks and shields to frontline responders in need, please join Deluxe and Flow Studios in donating at the GoFundMe link in this post. And we'll be continuing to interview small business owners who are stepping up for their communities. So check back at deluxe.com/bigheart for more incredible stories, or send us a story from your hometown. #SmallBusinessBigHeart.